We've just been told in the last few seconds that the judge has agreed that the 17-year-old boy can now be named publicly. His name is Axel Rudakubana. So the judge, having listened to 20 minutes or so of legal argument, and particularly an application by the Daily Mail newspaper that he should be named, up until that point, a minute or so ago, we weren't naming him because he is still 17. In the eyes of the law, he is a juvenile and as such cannot be named. No juvenile who appears in court can be named under the legal rules. The judge, having listened to that argument, has decided that he can be named, and it was said in court that although he's still 17, he will be 18 in 6 days' time. So the judge has been swayed by the arguments from the Daily Mail in principle, but the prosecutor before that had given the pros and cons of naming him or not naming him. Originally, the prosecution had asked for that anonymity to be maintained. Now, I'm just waiting to hear from colleagues inside whether I can now report the legal argument that led to that judge's decision. It's still not clear from what I'm being told by my colleagues in court. But we can name the 17-year-old who was living in the village of Banks, 3 miles or so from the scene of the stabbings on Monday. The police had told us before that he was British born. He was born in 2006 on the 7th of August, which means that he's 18 next week. And the police have also told us in the past that he originated from Cardiff. Again, I think I'm restricted in giving you any detail of the legal argument that was played out in court. But the upshot is the judge has been persuaded that he should be named, and that name is Axel Rudakubana, a youth of Rwandan heritage. That's as much as we can tell you at the moment. I'll come back when I can tell you whether we're allowed to report any of the legal argument that led to that judge's decision in the last few minutes.
Martin, while you wait to hear that, perhaps I can ask you another question in terms of just how unusual this decision is. You cover a lot of these kinds of stories. How unusual is this decision from the judge?
It is unusual, but again, I don't know whether I can tell you the arguments that have been put forward in court. It is unusual because, strictly speaking, under the law, anybody who is younger than 18 has the protection of the law and can't be named. So from the moment we knew that a 17-year-old had been arrested as the suspect, even though eventually we worked out his identity, we were still prevented from naming him. And we thought, and indeed we were prevented right up until a few minutes ago. We've been reporting that he was simply a 17-year-old male from living in the village of Banks, 3 miles from the scene of those stabbings on Monday. And that's as much as I can tell you at the moment. It's a rare thing, but clearly the judge has been persuaded by the legal arguments for naming him, and did not, and was dismissive, I suppose, ultimately, of the arguments about not naming him and maintaining his anonymity.